In December on Quirks and Quarks, I interviewed an author, Ken Thompson, who wrote a book called Where Do Camels Belong? And why invasive species aren't all bad. And his point of view is that change is what nature does, and that while species may come and take over native species, or what we call native species, does the environment as a whole really suffer from that? Or is it just an inconvenience to us? That maybe instead of saying invasive, we say inconvenient, because we don't like what they do to our technology, or they like our food, or they don't taste good, or they're ugly. But it's our judgment on them, not them. And he says that if you look at ecosystems in general, after a species come in, has it really been damaged? And he says not in all cases. And his example of the camel is that camels are actually native to North America. I didn't know that. We think of camels with, marching in front of the pyramids, but actually they started here in North America. So where do they really belong? Where do they belong? They spread worldwide. And I also had an experience with invasive species myself when I was living in Ontario. I'm an invader to British Columbia. I've only been here 3.5 years. I came from Toronto. Torontonians are sort of another species, I think, in human. And but I'm a sailor, and I was sailing around on the Great Lakes and East Coast. But during the 80s, when the zebra mussels came in, we saw that as boaters, both at the end of the season when you haul your boat out, which I'm so glad we don't have to do here, but it freezes there, so you got to take your boat out of the water every winter. And the bottom would just be covered in zebra mussels, so much to the point that they'd actually slow the boat down. But at the same time, around that time when the zebra mussels were really spreading, when you go to an anchorage, you find a little bay and drop the anchor, you could see the bottom. The lake went clear because they were filtering all the algae out of the water. Wow, it was amazing. Lake Ontario, clean. What a concept. But when I'd haul that anchor back up again when it was time to leave, it would dredge up a huge bouquet of weeds because the clear water was allowing the sunlight to penetrate deeper into the water, so the weeds were growing like crazy. Interesting, the trickle-down effects, when you change one thing and how many other things it changes. But has the ecology of the lakes changed by being cleaner, by having more weeds? What's it done to the fish population? I don't know. I'm not the one to answer that question. But these are the kinds of things that he raised. What do we really define as invasive or just change?